Yo, what up big cats, my Escape 20 here, and today guys, what I have for you here today is another Borderlands 2 character skill point guide. And yes, I know this is a little bit overdue. I know the game's been out for quite some time now, but what I like to do is I honestly like to wait till the end of the I guess series of the Borderlands or whatever to do these, because the people that do it the week before the game comes out, you know nothing about the game. You honestly know nothing about the game. You're just seeing what's on paper, and what's on paper doesn't always work what's in real life. So it doesn't really have the same chemistry, if you know what I'm talking about. If that's basically what I'm trying to say. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and move on. And I've played this character. This is my main character. I know this character more than any other character, and I'm telling you right now, these builds do work. They're great. You may disagree with them, but I'm telling you right now, these builds work great for me. So you can mix them up if you want, but this is just my opinion. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on real quick. So I'm not really a jerk. I just thought I would tell you all that. Let me mute this real quick. All right. So anyway, first build I want to tell you guys is the bulky build. So what this is a build focused on your health and your Deathtrap being more support than it is attacker. This works great if you don't have a siren on your team and you need somebody to help support other people. So this is great. So first thing you're going to do is summon the Deathtrap. So what this does is your action skill, and basically, it's 60 seconds for your cooldown, and you unleash your Deathtrap, and it wreaks havoc on people. So first thing you want to do is called Cooking Up Trouble, 5 out of 5. So what this does is while your gun's magazine is full, you regenerate health. So this is great because if you have Infinity Pistol, you can constantly be shooting and regenerating health at all times. So that's what's great about this one. So definitely recommend an Infinity Pistol if you're using this build. Next thing you want to do is Fancy Mathematics, which is improves your shield recharge delay and shield recharge rate based on how low your health is. The lower your health, the greater the bonus. So your shield recharge delay is minus 70%, which is huge, and recharge rate is up to 60%, which is great. So that's really awesome. And like I said, though, this is based on your health. This is not 100%, 70%, 100%, 60%. It's like based on your health. So that's one thing. Next thing you want to do is Potent as a Pony, which I think is the most important thing in this build, which is increase your maximum health for you and Deathtrap. So increase your max health by 20% and your Deathtrap max health by 10%. This is really important, obviously, because you want to be bulky. Next thing you want to do is called Made of Sterner Stuff, and this is another important build because this increases your damage reduction and your Deathtrap melee damage. So it's more about your reduction than it is your melee damage. It's not by much. It's only 5%, but it's still, that 5% is still pretty important. Next thing you want to do is 20% cooler, which increases the cooldown rate of your action skill by 30%. So which is great. Obviously that's what you want to do. So yeah, that's good. Finally, what you want to do is your Sharing is Caring, which is your final thing. Grants a copy of your shield to Deathtrap. So like I said, if you have a bulky shield, you can have a shield that is like the turtle, which is a huge shield and decreases your health. And the thing is it won't decrease the Deathtrap's health. So it'll have an amazing shield and still an amazing health. So that's great. That is maxed out at level 31. So at 31, you're maxed out on your build. So the rest is just improving your build. So next thing you want to do is called Upshot Robot, which I like because is why Deathtrap is active. If your Deathtrap kills an enemy, it increases Deathtrap duration. And this is good because, every time it kills an enemy, whatever, it can stay out longer and longer and longer. And this is not just if Deathtrap kills it, it's if you kill it as well. So that's really important to know. So, you guys working together, it can be out there constantly, which is great. Because it helps our next build, which is Buck Up. And what's great about this build is Deathtrap restore the shields one alley. Now, this really does work. I'm not kidding, guys. If you want to know the main fundamental about this build is your Buck Up and your Sharing is Caring. Because literally every time your shield go down, your Deathtrap will send out a shield beam and recharge your health. Not only you, but if your teammate is low on health, it'll restore that. So it is great. It really, 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 really is important for you to get this build. So this Buck Up. This is really important for this build. Next thing you want to do is Unstoppable Force, which 5 out of 5, which killing an enemy grants you bonus movement speed and causes your shield to regenerate. So you're more worried about the movement speed, trying to get out of there, but your regeneration of your shield is very important as well. So the thing you're going to do after that is explosive clap. Now this is your, I guess what you want to call powerhouse of your Deathtrap. This will do the most damage. Your explosive cap, mine goes up to like 400k sometimes, like depending on, the level you are. So I mean, this is very, very important. And by the way, the reason I chose this last and not first is because at this point you're facing harder enemies, and now that you have the bulk, it's time to put in some power. So that's why I saved it towards the end. So the next thing you want to do is called Myelin, and this is great. Resistant to shock, increases your shield capacity. And after doing that 5 out of 5, you want to go to the stair. Now this is important because it's a laser beam. This takes out a lot of, I guess, like bandits kind of enemies, not the Hyperion, but bandits. This is very important to have, so that's very good to, like I said, to have. So next thing you want to do is called the better half, and this is the final thing you're going to do. If I could just kind of find that, right here. And this is very important because the magazine is half empty, you gain a fire rate bonus. Now this is very important when you use other things, especially like F's and G's that slag things. Like it'll be like regular fire rate, then it's like really fast at the end. So this is very important to do. Definitely one of the best builds. So I'm going to get to the pros and cons at the very end. Actually, I'll go ahead and do it since I'm already here. The pros and cons for this build. The pros are you have larger health, as you can see. You have larger health. Your health regen at a very early level. Just at the very beginning of the game, you already have health regeneration. Your Deathtrap is support, and it gets a shield. So as you can see right here, it gets a shield, and it's also supporting on your buck up. And you also have a faster cooldown rate. So that's the pros on this. The cons is you rely on Deathtrap a lot. You don't really have the power as you would in this tree or this skill tree. You rely on guns more because you don't have as much power. And like I said, you don't have as much power. So that's basically the pros and cons for that. So yeah. So the next build I want to do after resetting my stats, is my elemental build. So I mean, people go the anarchy build. I don't find it as useful. The stuff in this tree is not as powerful as this tree is, because I know a lot of you like it because you can do a bunch of stuff with the anarchy. But I'm telling you, if you mess up one time on reloading, your whole build is ruined. It's ruined. So I mean, I don't like it. It's not for me. Like I said, this is my opinions on these things. So the next thing you want to do is the elemental build. So first thing off, like you always want to do, is get your action skill point. We talked about that a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that. The first thing you want to do is more pep. So more pep increases your chance of applying burn, electrocute, corrode, and slag status effects. So as you can see, electrocute is your main one. The rest are 10%. So this is very important to remember that electrocute is your primary. Next thing you want to do after that is called Shock Storm. So after doing Shock Storm, killing an enemy with a critical hit causes electrical storm, dealing electrical damage to nearby enemies. Electrical storms are also caused by Deathtrap whenever he kills an enemy. So the critical hit causing electrical storm is not that important, because I mean, how often do you kill people by critical hits? I mean, unless you're like a beast sniper, you don't always kill people by little hit. But when Deathtrap kills somebody, it automatically calls electrical storm. That's very, very important. This is rank 5, so this is the highest you can do. This is very important to have. So yeah, next thing you want to do is called evil. Where is it? Where is it? I had it. Hold on. Oh, evil enchantress or whatever. So what this does basically is, after maxing this 5 out of 5, this is killing skill, kill skill. So killing enemy increases the damage that your burn, electrocute, and corrode statuses do. So 30% more. So after having all of these, you're even increasing just by killing things. And having the Shock Storm just increases it just by so much. So that's very important to have. So after maxing that out 5 out of 5, you're going to do Wires Don't Talk. And this is going to increase your shock and electrocute damage that you're going to have. And this is glitched right here. It says 0%, but it's really not. I went ahead and looked it up on the website. And it's actually at level 5 is 15%. And then if you get the legendary Mechromancer mod, or the legendary one that increases it even more, it's going to go up to 33%. So yeah, so 15% basically on the as you see at the bottom. So if fitting, okay, anyway, so yeah, the next thing you're going to do is the stair. And the reason why you're going to do this is because you're going to skip this one. This is not important to do. So you're going to have the stair. And what the stair does is, obviously we talked about this, is burn damage, which is very important. You really want this This increases, like I said, you already have elemental bonus damage, so you want to increase this as well. After doing this there, you're going to have Shackle and Awe, which is, or Ag, I guess, or whatever. Reloading your gun causing electrical explosion. This is really good, especially when you're doing like, clips that don't have that much, I guess what you want to call, capacity or ammo magazine. This also goes well with this, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So yeah, that it gives you a great, it's kind of like a Nova. It really is like a shock Nova. So the next thing after that you're going to do is 1, 2, boom. And this is pretty important. This is going to shoot out a blob of electric, like an orb, really. You're going to see it in the air. You're going to hear like a little sound. You're going to see this big kind of blob go in the air of electric damage. And, so as it's flying in the air, you want to land it pretty close. You don't want to shoot it as soon as it comes out. You want to make it follow. It's kind of about timing. As soon as it gets close to enemies, you want to shoot it. And it's a huge blast of shock damage, which is really important. So that's a very, very good build to have on that. Next thing you're going to do is electrical burn. And you're going to do this one 2 out of 5. And the reason why you only do this one 2 out of 5 is this electrical burn chance, which is 8%. So when your electrocute status affects dealing damage to enemies, they will burst into flames, which since you're already increasing all of your electric chances, you're going to burn somebody as well. But the reason why you only do 2 out of 5 is because you want the last thing, that's make it sparkle. And you max out this at level 31. So what this does is shooting a death trap with any element weapon charges him with that element. Causes him to melee attacks to deal additional damage to that element. So basically if you're fighting Hyperion, you shoot your death trap with, like a corrosive weapon, and then it'll start meleeing corrosive damage. So this is very good. You need to mix it up. You shoot it with a fire weapon. You need it to slag things. You slag it. Electric. Basically, it's a very, very good option to have. So after doing that, you're gonna go up. You're gonna skip this real quick, and you're gonna go up cooking up trouble, which is very important. You need the health regeneration. We talked about this. This is the most important thing of Mechromancer. Anyway, it's a little bit later, which kind of sucks, but it's really important for you to get down to this, make it sparkle build. So yeah, so you're gonna do that. And next thing you're gonna do is electrical burn. You're gonna increase that all the way to 5 out of 5. So this increases it to about 20%. So the next thing you're gonna do is fancy mathematics, which we talked about earlier. You're gonna increase your shield because you need a little bit bulk. You have a lot of power, but now you need a little bit something to back it up. After that, you're going to do Potent as a Pony, which we talked about, which is your health increase for both you and Deathtrap. And then you're going to do Upshot Robot, which is a little bit different than what you normally would do. This is, not really different, but this is the kind of thing where you kill, whenever it kills, it stays out longer. So this is pretty important to have. You don't really have the cooldown rate, which kind of brings me on to the pros and cons. So let's go ahead and pull out my notes real quick. So the pros and cons for the elemental build. You have high damage, as you can see. You can do a ton of damage with elemental weapons. You need elemental weapons. You take down things very quickly, especially with the death trap. Your death trap gets elemental damage just because of Make It Sparkle, and your reload actually matters. Reloading your gun causes electrical explosion. Like we said, it actually matters. Now, you can mix things up. You don't have to technically do all this. You can go over here, to get your reload speed, and everything, decrease your magazine size. You're constantly doing this, but the problem is you can't move on really to more of these unless you do Anarchy, which is, I don't find that the way. Then you're going to off balance this, and then you won't get down to this, so it's not that important to me. It really doesn't help that much. So after that, what you're going to do, after your cons, basically, your cons for this build is you lack damage resistance. You don't have this Sterner stuff. You really don't. Your regeneration is there, but it comes very late. If I remember right, it comes around level 37. So, yeah, so it doesn't really pick up till a little bit later. And your death trap can't last as long because it doesn't have the shield. So, yes, it is. It's kind of like a glass cannon. So, yes, it is very good, but at the same time, it can't do everything it really needs to do. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. I appreciate everything, and stay tuned for more videos. Alright, have a good one. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Sorry it was such a long video, but there was a lot to say, especially about my favorite characters. So anyway, previous video is a level 61 loadout for my Mechromancer, and this is the loadout I chose for my Mechromancer. The guns, the equipment, the mods, the grenades, everything. So make sure you please check that out. And featured video is my commando skill point guide. If you haven't seen that yet, please check out the video. You know, I have some good points in that video. So if you're on the edge of what to do for the commando, make sure you check that out. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see more videos just like this one, please leave a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. All right, peace.